Innovation in the case market typically means a curved glass, round glass, or a straight glass, or even a gimmicky display that only shows you some temperatures, probably something you barely even check. But without a unique selling point, a case won't sell. That's why there are small fans, big fans, fans at the front, bottom, or even top. Sometimes a little tweaking in the name, like 5G, Pro, Max, Ultra. Sometimes tiny wooden pieces at the case, and dazzling wedding style RGB lights. Anything just to make you buy it. Although some are cheap, some are expensive, some can even make you a low-end gaming system. Probably. Today, after a long time, we have a long review of Antec Flux Pro. We are thanking Antec for sending us the case and letting us review it. Let's see what's inside, what's missing. To break it down, as usual, it's Talha. You are watching PC Builder Incorporation. Let's move on to competitor analysis. This case with 6 pre-installed PWM fans and a hub is priced at $180 for the black and $185 for the white version. At this price point, some other available options are Fractal Torrent, Asus TUF GT502, Dinosaur M-Star Open Frame, N60 H9 Elite which is currently on sale, Height Y60, Jonesbow TK2, Montec King 95 Pro, Fractal Design North XL, Corsair 6500X and Thermaltake Tower 600. All of them though ranges between $160 to $190. If you're willing to spend $180 on a case, some extra dollars from your pocket won't mind. Let's move on to unboxing and accessories. For me, the unboxing experience felt quite premium. Inside the case, there's an accessory box containing 2 PSU shroud covers, a traditional PSU mounting bracket, some unnecessary paperwork, a spare screw set box, a sample of the same wood used in the case. That's all. Everything was neatly packed in a cutout foam-shaped box. Looks clean. Now the outlook inspection. In simple terms, this is a traditional case, but it's huge. The wooden frame around the front panel creates a contrast with the body, and the smooth wave design on the front gives it a flowing structure from different angles. The Flux in Flux Pro stands for Flow Luxury, focusing on insane airflow and boosted GPU cooling performance. The front panel features an FSC certified real walnut wood frame, which has a great finish, I would say. Now the specifications. The weight of this case is around 13.6 kilograms and is made of steel, plastic, glass and wood. Size-wise, it's 545mm tall, 530mm deep and 245mm wide. The front, top, both side panels and PSU shroud walls are removable and toolless. The PSU shroud walls can be removed by taking off the glass panel. The 4mm tempered glass panel on the left side gives it a premium look. Except for the top part of the right steel panel, the rest is mesh, actual mesh, including the bottom section. The mesh has 1.2mm gaps for maximum airflow. Even the PSU shroud is completely mesh. The wooden front panel features an engraved Antec logo, while the top panel has a printed Flux Pro branding. For storage options, there's two 2.5-inch drive plates behind the case, a hard drive bay in front of the PSU that supports either two 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives. If that's not enough for you, you can add 2 more 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives on top of the hard drive bay. The hard drive bay, slots and plates all are removable for extra flexibility. If you want to flex in the community, you can simply mount the hard drive bay on top of the PSU shroud. Now let's talk about the display of this case. On the left side of the frame, there is an analog display that shows your CPU and GPU temperature readings. It connects via a motherboard USB 2 header and recovers Antec Ionity software, which presents hardware data collected from hardware info in a visually appealing way. Now the motherboard support. Since this is a full tower case, it supports max eATX motherboards. However, it can also fit ATX, MATX and ITX boards. For surely, ATX motherboards might look small inside such a a massive case, just because of the size this case has. Now let's talk about the cooler support. Well, there's a lot to discuss here. For air coolers, supports up to 190mm tall single or dual tower coolers, which is absolutely massive. If you want to install a liquid cooler, you can install up to 420mm radiators with 45mm thick clearance at the top. Also, you can install up to 420mm radiators with a 5-way adjustable frame facility that allows easy positioning in the front. If these two are not enough for you, then you can put a 360mm radiator also in push-pull configuration just above the PSU shroud. And again, if this thing is also not enough for you, then you can just put another 240mm radiator at the bottom just ahead of the PSU. And there's 140mm typical exhaust or AIO support at the back, which is quite conventional. Now the GPU support. Not much of a drama here, supports up to 455mm GPUs. Even a 5090 will leave plenty of space. If it feels empty, you can install smaller components for a fuller look. Now the PSU support. Antec's innovative iShift PSU 90° mount lets you rotate the PSU 90 degrees using an included extension cable. You can mount the PSU traditionally or at 90°, and there's a cable guide cutout in the frame for proper management. If you mount the PSU at 90°, the max clearance is 180mm, and if you mount the PSU with traditional mountings, then you can just put your hand inside, or as long as the PSU you have. There's plenty of airflow friendly mesh around the PSU. Now let's talk about the airflow. This case comes with 6 pre-installed fans, where 3 of the 140mm Antec Tranquil PWM fans are in the front, single 140mm Antec Tranquil PWM fan at the rear, and a couple of 120mm P12 reverse PWM fans at the PSU shroud. Although there's space for up to 10 fans depending on your configuration. You can have 6 intake fans and 4 exhaust fans if PSU shroud has full fan support, or 5 intake fans and 4 exhaust fans if PSU shroud doesn't have full fan support. Now the input-output ports. The top panel features a power button, reset switch, audio combo jack, 2 USB 3 ports, 1 10 Gbps USB Type-C port, and a display control switch. And for the cable management, I would say plenty of clearance for cables, where 3 to 4 cable ties plus 3 Velcro straps are included with the case, cable tie hooks behind the motherboard for extra cables which you might use, and 4 rubber grommets for sleek cable routing. Minimal, clean, and no unnecessary clutter. Now let's talk about the thermal performance of this case. For the testing rig, we have used Intel Core 9 Ultra 285K CPU, Gigabyte Z890 AI top motherboard, Kingston Fury 32 plus 32 total 64GB 6000 MHz CL36 memory, Kimtigo 256GB NVMe for the boot drive, Noctua NF-A14x25 G2 cooler, Powercolor RX 9070 XT as the GPU, 3 Noctua A14 G2 fans for intake, 4 Antec Tranquil 140mm fans for exhaust, and Antec GSK 850W PSU powering the whole rig. Now let's talk about the results. After 10 minutes of stress test and 26° room temperature, the CPU temperature with open case was averaged on 77°, and in closed condition, which was also 77°. For the open case GPU test, the max average temperature was 58°, and in the closed case, which was 59.7°. We can see both the CPU open and CPU closed temperatures were exactly same, neck to neck, and there's 1.7° difference on GPU, which is absolutely acceptable, I would say. Just because of the airflow facilities you are getting in this case, I would say whatever the machine you are putting inside this case, you are getting absolute beast of a performance inside. Now let's talk about the pros. This case offers insane functionality and versatility with sleek, minimal, and simple design with no excessive RGB. Although you can install RGB fans and make it more fancy. The display is itself a unique feature, although if you monitor it regularly. And even insane cooler, fan, motherboard, and PSU support is a plus for you if you are quite keen to explore things or swap out things. Now the cons. This is 2025 and no inverted motherboard connector support. In this case, with $180 price, I'd say that's a disaster. Also, the fan hub has only 5 ports, even though the case comes with 6 fans. There is also a negative point because the fan hub included in this case is from non-pro version of this case. And at $180 price point, there's only single dust filter placed at the bottom of the case. There could be another dust filter at the front since the front is also Antec. And for the final verdicts, if you have ROG Godlike, MSI Maximus and Crosshair motherboard, a 5090 GPU and an X3D CPU, probably way good enough for a long period of time. Otherwise, if you are an airflow freak and care about features, it is still a great choice. If you have a budget of $2,000 to $3,000 or even $4,000 to $5,000 to spend on a system, gaming, productivity, professional workloads, a $200 case might be a bit steep for you, but still the performance, the features, the quality and the versatility you are getting with the case is absolutely banging. Soon we will try to review another case. Till then, goodbye.